Start.
Oh my goodness. We are live. It is 3:33 coming at you hot for Mind Honey December newsletter. January newsletter.
December.
Oh, December newsletter. Well, hi, Olga.
Hi, Lexi.
Quick shout out to the Mind Honey beanies. Appreciate.
Hello. Merry Christmas to all the Mind Hive people. They all got custom-made Mind Honey beanies this year for Christmas presents.
Yeah, check your mailbox. I love how the tables have turned and now I'm interviewing you.
That's right. I'm super excited because we started these interviews back in July, and we've had a chance to interview the core team, and there was nothing left to do but for you to interview me.
Hey, it's about time. I feel like you've got a lot in the noggin to share with the people, so I'm excited.
There are a few things in the noggin for sure.
Love it. Well, I have compiled questions, so put your thinking cap on, your thinking Mind Honey beanie. Okay, so this one's kind of a two-parter, but essentially, like, I remember I was there, the early days of Mind Honey Collective when we were just starting to brainstorm, but I don't remember, and I'm sure you do, kind of like the exact moment that spark was like triggered for you of, ooh, this is the idea that I want to run with and why. And then the kind of second part of that is how you got introduced to mindfulness in the first place. Like, when was that? How was that forever ago? Was it recent? And then how did that turn into the idea for Mind Honey?
Yes. Okay. Good question. Well, let's see. I remember the name Mind Honey Collective came to me in the middle of the yoga class.
Of course.
That's how I operate when I'm in the yoga class. The juices are flowing usually because I'm in the flow, and I swear to God, I need to start bringing notebooks to my yoga classes because so many ideas just pop into my head, and I just
getting downloads.
I love it, all the downloads. And so I remember leaving this class. I was still living in San Diego, and Mind Honey was just the name, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just love it. You know, it's honey for your mind, right? Honey is such a nutritious, such a fantastic, it comes from Mother Earth. It's sweet, it's delicious, it's good for you. And so honey is it was just a perfect word. And then of course, mind, because it is all about mindfulness. And then the collective part came in later when I realized that we are going to have a collective, and, so that's what brought it all together. But I think when I first, and trying looking back even further, like years further back, I fell in love with yoga.
Yeah.
Like over 10 years ago. I lived in Austin, Texas, and I went to a yen class and love at first sight.
Yeah. And what makes something a yen class?
So, yen is basically, it's the opposite of vinyasa class. So you're on the floor, you're stretching for longer times, and you're getting into the connective tissue. So basically, instead of like a nice sweaty workout, it's more like a guided nap. One of my favorite teachers calls it a guided nap. But
that sounds great.
It's, you're stretching, which so often we take that for granted. And I just fell in love with yoga, and through me practicing yoga for many, many years, meditation became a huge part of that journey. And then eventually it was during COVID that I came across Justin Michael Williams, who is my meditation teacher, who I just love so much. And I quickly realized that everything he was teaching and preaching, and all the juiciness and deliciousness of his whole story, his entire journey, it's just been such an incredible inspiration for me. And so very quickly I realized, okay, that's my teacher. I'm going to follow him, anywhere he goes. And so, and so shout out to Justin, because he's been a huge part of my journey and a great inspiration for Mind Honey Collective. And so through his programs, I became a meditation teacher. And, kind of started to grow my skill set and knowledge and passion for mindfulness and meditation since from there. And so it's just been such an incredible, juicy journey. I think
journey,
juicy, delicious journey, because I think it is life-changing. I can tell you from my personal experience, Olga today and Olga, 10 years ago, two different people, in terms of how much I'm just, handling craziness of life. I'm just so much more calmer and grounded and balanced through any, stress inducing, things that come at me throughout life, right? It can be anything like a daily stresses to like big scary things,
Yeah.
And I think mindfulness helps us, really live a better life, more authentic life, more adventurous life. And so I think everybody deserves to at least taste it and try it.
Yeah, I think so too. So, okay, what's your go-to, I'm having an overwhelming moment in my day and I don't have very much time. What's a grounding practice or a mindfulness thing that you can just drop right into and kind of soothe, even if you don't have time to tend to it fully in that moment?
I love that question. Well, of course, it's funny because Tim always makes fun of me when I start listening to my own meditations from mindhoneycollective.com.
I know, it's good stuff.
But, I'll go to our website and I'll listen to meditations. I love the ones that we've created that are bringing a calm or a breath of calm. I love the ones that we've created with Alonzo. Sometimes when I feel stressed out, Alonzo has created a few that I absolutely love that kind of bring you back to, hey, you know what? Enjoy your own journey. Don't be comparing yourself to others, right? Divine timing is my favorite. And if I just wanted to spice things up and do something different, I love grounding practice. And so it's super simple. What do you want to do for grounding? And actually, I was about to create a meditation for grounding. But essentially, wherever you are, if you can just take a few deep inhales and exhales and just slow down your breathing, you can close your eyes and imagine like a giant ball of sun or light right here, right above you. And imagine the light from that bowl, just like honey, dripping down through your crown chakra and all the way through your entire body, filling every single cell of your body. And just, it completely fills you up. And then that light goes from your root chakra and all the way down through the crown of the earth, through all to the center of the earth. So you're imagining this light, connecting you to the center of the earth. And so you're grounding yourself, right? And just imagining, you can imagine that grounding light turning into maybe a waterfall or like a powerful tree, or sometimes if it's like an extra stressful situation, sometimes I would imagine, I learned this from one of my excellent teachers, you imagine like an anchor, imagine like an anchor that with a giant cruise ship would drop into the ocean. Imagine a huge heavy anchor like that just dropping into the center of the earth and connecting you to it.
Ooh, I like that. So you're big on visualization and really feeling into those moments. Yeah.
You breathe, just breathe through the entire, visualization. Just imagine, just one of the most popular breathing techniques is a box technique, right? 4 count, inhale, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then
that one's been amazing. I do that all the time. That's like my go-to thing when I don't have anything else. I'm just like, okay, if all you can do is breathe right now, and it helps. It really does. And that's the practice. I remember, small tangent, but I remember that moment between therapy and meditation and mindfulness where I think I thought that at some point I wasn't going to need to do it anymore. And then my therapist one time said, no, that's why it's called a practice. You have to keep doing it. And it does, because it starts to come easier and it starts to become more second nature, but it just kind of is the thing that you have to keep doing. And I think that that's a really beautiful part of mindfulness. And obviously there's like a infinite ground for meditations to be created for that. So
yes, exactly. I mean, see how simple it is? And it's
super
so
simple.
Powerful.
What's okay, so when you think back to like early Olga, like just getting into mindfulness, starting to understand meditation, starting to meditate, what's some advice you would give her as you now?
Interesting. I think the main one, and it's actually honestly the same advice as I keep giving myself today.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a journey. It's all about divine timing. Because again, we tend to start comparing ourselves to others, and we always have this weird tendency. It's very human, I think, but it's also kind of silly that we always think, oh, people that we admire, oh, they're doing it right. Oh, they got it figured out. They're killing it. And we don't give ourselves enough credit. And so it's interesting, every time we compare ourselves to others, it's not the best because we just kind of get out, we need to give ourselves a bit more credit, right? I always have to remind myself, hey, you know what? It is a practice. Give yourself a second, give yourself some time. That's one of the main things I learned from my yoga practice. And when I'm in the class practicing yoga, and that's my preferred way to do it, is in a classroom with other people. And I learned a long time ago, forget about what you see around you. Because if you start comparing your practice to people that are doing headstands and they're super flexible and they're so strong, you're probably never going to go back to that class, because it messes with your mind. And what I always loved yoga so much for is the fact that from day one, I just kind of felt, you know what, this is my time. This is for me. And if somebody's next to me is, doing a headstand, which I've never been able to do, that doesn't mean that, I'm less of a yogi than they are. It's their journey and they're doing their own thing. And here I am embracing and loving my journey, what my body is able to do. And so now with Mind Honey, it's very much, it's very much like that. It's like all this incredible meditation and mindfulness companies and, teachers out there. What I try to do is grab inspiration from them and not, have this, oh, look how far along they are and how successful they are, and we're not there yet. So coming from the energy of, abundance and wishing everybody else only prosperity and only that much more success versus coming from the energy of envy and comparison.
Yeah, I think if you're stuck in that headspace, you aren't present too. It like really steals your ability to even appreciate where you're at. And I really like that about yoga too, especially the classes where everybody's just like, do what you need to do. If you need to go child's pose because you're dying right now, go do that. Thank you.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I've learned that about, it applies to pretty much every area of life. And it reminds me of that. It's like an old Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and the second best time is now, where it's like, yeah, if you did this 20 years ago, you'd be much further, but what else can you do besides do it now and accept where you're at? And I think that's really cool.
Yes, exactly. Because otherwise you'll be stuck in, inability to do anything. And, actually this also reminds me, one of my favorite things that you and I were kind of together embracing, I'd say, is the cringe mountain.
Cringe mountain. Yeah, you got to climb it, baby.
We got to climb the cringe mountain. I've grown to love it. I've been doing my Instagram and trying to figure it out. And
you've improved a lot already, too.
Thank you. But, I'm like, you know what? I know for a fact, all of this is going to sound and look pretty cringy to me. Probably very soon.
Yeah, that's just part of life. Like I was just talking to somebody, like an artist friend of mine, about how basically as soon as you're done creating something, you look back and you're like, I made that. Because it just like, it's always how it goes. You change and you evolve and you grow and you want to like keep iterating. And I think that's, kind of going back to starting now. I think that's part of what I think is really cool about Mind Honey and like the shorter meditations that we're doing, because when you were doing your focus grouping and kind of like asking people, everybody was saying like, I don't have enough time. I don't know how to start. It's all overwhelming. I'm not like a meditation person. I'm not a yoga person. And so then that's kind of how we led into, okay, let's just do these then, because everybody has 2, 3, 4 minutes and, you know, likes those moments of just calm and focus, and then also making them like unique and interesting, and like for some specific things and then for some broader things, and just like the variety and also like intentionality that's put into that, I think is really cool. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if you have like a recent moment that you saw or heard of Mind Honey making like an impact on somebody's life.
Yeah. Ooh, good question. All good questions.
I do what I can.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Yes, actually, a friend of mine from this retreat that I went to a few years ago. It was women only retreat, and it was magical time. Okay. And 16 of us actually been in touch ever since. Aww. And just absolutely love that group, incredible women. And one of my friends from the group, we were chatting, and I just asked her, hey, you know, anything, and I ask them actually all the time throughout my whole Mind Honey, you know, creative process. I've been in touch with that group and asking them what kind of support they need, and they've been a great inspiration for me. And so she mentioned to me that she really wanted to feel like she's enough. She feels, you know, she felt a little very insecure, and sort of just, hey, like, you know, things that I've done in life, you know, I feel like I've made a few mistakes and I just can't let go, you know, that kind of mode. And so I have created, so a few meditations that you see that are very new were created actually specifically for her, for self-love and self-forgiveness. But in the moment I told her, hey, actually, there are a few things you can already listen to. And she listened to I Am Enough meditation. And she texted me right after, and she said that she, you know, was crying, and it was just beautiful. And it really, really, really made her, you know, sort of reminded her that yes, she's enough. And so that was really incredible, because this is essentially why we're doing this. And
that's so touching.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it hits too when affirmations can be really powerful. Like when you say something and it like hits you in your soul and you're like, whoa, what is all this coming from? And I think that's really cool for somebody to be able to, and to tell you. I think that feedback is so nice too.
Yes. I want to know.
Okay. I have 2 more questions. Okay. Number 1. Olga gets an idea for a meditation. What is your process from like, okay, I have an idea, to like pressing record?
Yes, good question. I always take some time to grounding that I mentioned earlier, and sort of, you know, and say a little, I guess you can call the prayer, you know, you can call the intention setting, but I always, you know, ground myself, and I just basically say, you know what, let whatever I create be in the greatest good for people who's going to listen to it, right? So I do a little bit of a little mini ceremony. And then, you know, I come up with the text, right? It's a combination of different things. Usually, often I get inspired by a book. So sometimes I even bring some of my books and I'll create something based on that.
Yeah, sometimes, I do that too.
Yeah, because, you know, there's so many great resources out there and so many people that I'm inspired by. And so then I create a text, and usually it includes like the basics for me. I don't know if you noticed that, but all of my meditations have very similar format, because that's what I'm trained to. But we're calling it, Justin calls it trifecta. I think it's the body, eyes, and breath. So all of my meditations, I'll guide people through settling in, getting cozy and comfortable, gently closing their eyes, and then breathing together. So that's always important. And then the rest of the meditation, I like to combine different techniques. So visualization is a big one because that's what I'm trained on. I also try to use different methods like hypnosis or NLP, for example. Gestalt. Things that I love. Yeah, you know what I mean? The things, like the different techniques that I love. Some will have mantras, some will not. Some will have, visualizing the bright light, right? And I try to make them different. And sometimes I won't use it, and I'll use maybe like a different visual effect. Yeah. It really depends. And then and that's if I come up with the idea of meditation and then I want to record it. And so then I will record it. And depends on the day. It'll take me hopefully not too many takes because but and I think I'm becoming better at that.
Have you ever done, or how many have you done that are just one take and you're like, it's good, not doing that again?
I feel like a few actually. I've been pretty I'm becoming a little better at like recording it, because you know what else it's so important to me is with my accent and the way how I speak so fast.
You're like, I have to enunciate.
Yes, I have to teach. Oh, okay, Olga, like just slow down, right? So I have to remember that, and then also I'm kind of becoming better in editing it like on the spot, and so I don't have to like go back and forth. And then if it's a personalized meditation, then what I'll do is I'll take their wording. But say if somebody's asked for a meditation where they want to feel grounded in the times where they feel stressed, under pressure or whatever, and I will use those words. So I'll say eventually the meditations that will come up. So when you feel stressed and under pressure, remember to come back to your breath or whatever. So if it's a personalized meditation, we'll use the words that
like incorporate that. Yeah, definitely. Very cool. I love that. Okay, cool. Love it. Amazing. Wonderful. I know we talk a lot about what's next, and we're always looking on the horizon, and there's some very exciting things coming. But I thought, since we're coming to the end of the year and you look back on like from where we started, when did we start this? What month was that? Do you remember?
I feel like it was December is when you texted me and you said, hey, let me help you get this going.
Oh my gosh, are we on our anniversary right now?
Yes.
Happy anniversary, Mindfulness Collective. Okay, even better then. Okay, so like highs and lows, like quick, like some of the best things that come to mind for you in your Mind Honey journey so far, and then like a couple of challenges. Or maybe start with the challenges. Start low, then go high.
Yes. Well, the challenge has always been, it's the freaking algorithm. When you the social media is a struggle and the challenge, just because I saw yesterday I've had like 8,800 views. But 3 follows.
It's a tough one.
Like so
it's a beast.
So it's interesting. Like it's like this analytics show, like they're just reaching people, but they're not necessarily following. So, but that's an ongoing journey, right? So I'm working constantly on learning how to use social media to our benefit, because I feel like it is a tool that's very necessary and important to understand. And conquer. And so that's been the biggest challenge. And I think just to spread the word, right? Spreading the word and having people come on board. It's so interesting because once I tell people about the concept, they just love it. And so many want to become part of the Mind Hive. That's why we already have so many people. Yeah. But then it becomes challenging to get people to actually create. People get like the guides,
schedules, and
yes, people sometimes get stuck in like the perfectionism mode. People just say, I really want to create this, but I'm still writing, or I have it down, but like I don't have time to record. So that's a challenge, I think, because I want it all and I want it now. So I'm learning like, okay, be patient. So, and then all the triumphs, I'd say it's, the fact that people do love it, that we have the incredible collective and people in Mind Hype, they're like really passionate about, helping with this idea and helping grow it, and like really excited about to see where we can take it. And so, I mean, that's such a blessing and such a great honor for me to have people in the collective who are so talented and just passionate and just incredible. And I cannot wait to see what 2025 brings, because as you know, we have many ideas. And we actually, I forgot to mention, we just got invited to participate in this festival, our first mini festival.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you. I was gonna contact you and let you know all about it, but it's at the end of March, and so I think that'll be fun to do a bunch of in-person workshops during this festival that brings together like 600 people.
That'd be so cool. Okay,
yeah. So we just got invited yesterday. So we'll definitely
we'll chat.
We'll chat about that. And I think in 25 we do want to do more in-person workshops and festivals and events. So I'm super excited to see how many more people we're going to attract to this mission. But yeah, I think overall it's been a roller coaster ride. Super fun and exciting and thrilling.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to be a part of it and see all your growth and all of Mind Honey's growth, and seeing you learn how to use Wix. It's been so cute. Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty much all she wrote for me.
Love it. Thank you so much for being my hostess today.
Of course. Super happy to be here. And everybody follow Mind Honey Collective and tell your friends.
That's right. Thanks, everybody, and Merry Christmas, and stay mindful. Bye. And stop.